Top of the morning, folks. Chris Rockwell here, civilbullets.com. Cheers. It's Saturday morning, 6:30. I've been up watching a little news and drinking some coffee and whatnot. Trying to wake up and digest news of the day. I'm going to sit down in my little Mr. Rogers chair here so I don't walk and trip and fall. Anyway, folks, let's see here. What's going on? Lots of cool stuff is going on. A lot of stuff I can't talk about right at this moment. So what I'm going to dive into this morning is I'm watching the White House's, the fallout of the White House's immigration plan announcement from the left, and watching Nancy Pelosi call the plan, and not just Pelosi, but the entire left mainstream media and all of their pundits, and even some of the crony GOP politicians who are on the George Soros globalist payroll. They're all calling this a racist, white supremacy, burning cross, re-whitening of America plan. I've been called a racist more times than, especially in the last 10 years, during the Obama era, when I was working in Silicon Valley in Seattle, and I was producing rap music in inner black neighborhoods all over the country. But where I was called a racist wasn't by the black the black people I was working with and friends with and enemies with. I was called a racist by liberal, white, college-educated, spoiled, entitled little bitches. And what I'm watching over the last few months, actually years, but with the Trump administration breaking the chains of this fragmentation, virtue signaling agenda that got Obama into office, and what they're trying to do to destroy the reunification done by Trump. It's funny to watch. He's a racist, I'm a racist, but Nancy Pelosi, hey, how about Whoopi Goldberg flailing the arms and acting like, representing exactly what the left continues to do. They're in free fall, emotional. I like the Trump syndrome, the Trump derangement syndrome term. I'm a big brand and dude. My neighbor's a heavy equipment guy. I grew up with a neighbor just like this, which is cool as a kid, but when you're trying to record a video, having an 18-wheeler start up next door or a backhoe at 6:30 in the morning is kind of a hassle, but it's cool. It's something kind of unique, I guess, right? Not everybody has neighbors that have logging trucks and backhoes and bulldozers and dump trucks, so I guess it's kind of reminds me of home down the street. This whole racism thing burns my hide a little bit, but as you guys know, that's why I wrote the book, and I focus on race, and I focus on the left's and the globalist agenda utilizing race as a key weapon in their fight to gain and maintain power. And now that they have lost that power, I mean, they're utilizing language now of terror and calamity every single day. Here's the cause and effect of that, outside of the emotional spectrum of that. And that's the problem, is we are dealing with two different animals. One is, and this is a typical liberal, is that the typical liberal, and I grew up in this world, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm from Northern California. I grew up interacting with the epicenter of American liberalism, socialism. I know it pretty well, and it's a sick, delusional, narcissistic concept. And the sad fact is, if any of these people ever like really did their homework and studied just a little bit of history of socialism, which becomes communism, which becomes fascism, which becomes, 100 million people dead in less than 100 years. So this is never talked about. Then you have people like Nancy Pelosi, who lead the Democratic Party, one of the leaders, not utilizing any logic and intelligence in the arguments. None of them do anymore, and that's a sad fact. I mean, they are so fundamentally flawed, utilizing a deceptive and illogical game plan that is to attain power through fear, and it is not in the best interest of the country. It is a totally self-interest, self-serving model that is not nationalistic. It's totally anti-nationalistic. It is all about enslaving the masses. And what's funny to me is you have all of these that I was around, I grew up around, and then I worked with in Silicon Valley and Seattle. I mean, in San Francisco too. Right there. I mean, it's comical because I'm a white guy, I'm bald, I've got a goatee, and drove a diesel truck down into the city, into a parking lot of hybrid cars, and everybody is trying to outdo everybody else with virtue signaling. And it got to the point where, and I grew up in it, so I knew what I was around, and the status competition of who's greener and who cares more, and it's all a bunch of bullshit. Because these people that are in that selfish, narcissistic race of I care more than you is a truly sick group of people. It is. And these are the people who are ranting and raving, emotionally charged arguments against Donald Trump and the people who believe in that ideology and part of this, the movement of changing the fundamentals of where America was going over the last 100 years, basically, plus. So it's comical kind of, watching Whoopi Goldberg act like an animal, literally, and telling Judge Jeanine to, cussing her out of the studio backstage, spit flying all over Judge Jeanine. By the way, Judge, you handled that super classy. Whoopi Goldberg and The View, my God, these are the people I'm talking about. If these aren't narcissistic, totally delusional people with a lot of hate in them, man, these are some pretty nasty souls. And that's what liberalism seizes on. They seize on the selfishness, people wanting to be superior, feel better about themselves over other people. That's what it's all about. At the end, the team gets hurt. You can walk around with a Bernie shirt or a Hillary shirt or Trump socks, and now I was watching these videos this morning where people are, dressing up a kickbox dummy with a Trump head on it, and doing kung fu kicks to the head and all this shit. I liked what Owen Schroyer said on InfoWars. He's an old sports media guy, an athlete like me, and he was just commenting, and none of these people understand what a true victory is. They've never, and this is a lot of liberals, they hide behind their virtue signaling. They're not honest about what is really going on and how they interact with life and who they really are. And they're really competitive people, just like all of us are, to try to feel significant in this world. And the problem is they're not honest with themselves about it. And so they start hiding behind all these different layers of I'm better than you, but I'm going to do it really passively. And, I sit around, and I've done this, as a kid and as an adult in these scenes and dinner scenes, and listening to these people around a dinner table, comparing what college they went to, and, how green their car is, and how high they hiked and how fast they hiked, and to what countries they traveled and what kind of food they ate, and it's just like, and I just want to hear about, what concert did you go to? Where'd you go camping? Oh wait, you didn't go camping, but you're an outdoors person. You're an environmentalist, right? But you don't camp. Oh. Have you ever gone to Yosemite from Silicon Valley, which is like 150 miles? No? I can't tell you how many people told me they were outdoors environmentalists and they had never gone to Yosemite, one of the great wonders of the world, and it's right over the hill from Silicon Valley. I'm not kidding. I mean, these people are jokes. They really are. They sit in their house, in their little apartments, they go to their job, they sit on the Highway 101 in their hybrid car, wasting away their lives, justifying it as they sit there on their phone about that they're smarter and they're busy and they've got really important things they're doing and building, while they totally forget about the most important things in their lives. Kids, relationships, their own mental health, their own truth. I've witnessed all that, lived it, witnessed it, got the fuck out of it, because I knew that was never me anyway. It's a very disturbing mindset. I got back into building my own stuff and being around people that are willing to go, I don't know, I don't know, let's figure it out. I don't know. That's a good question. Let's try that. Oh, it didn't work. Let's try it again. You know what I mean? It's a different mindset. I get tired. I have very little patience for people who walk around and act like they don't make mistakes and they got it all figured out. To me, that's boring. That's uninteresting, and it's uninspiring, because if we're being honest with ourselves, living out loud, living honestly, living with true intentions can be a very messy, creative process. There's a lot of learning that goes into successful living. So that's my take of the day. I'm fired up because I know what I'm involved in, building something right now behind the scenes with the people that I'm building it with. It is special. It's exciting, because the thing is, when you have intelligent people with amazing experience who've gone through the tough knocks to get a victory and are willing to get back up and try it again and go through days, weeks, months, years of financial struggle and strife, but really being able to see down the road and believe in something bigger than self. And that's something the left and liberals and just selfish people don't understand. And I think that's why I'm so excited, is because I believe in team above self. I really do. I think that's why I'm a good leader. I think that's why I was a good team player for a lot of years. And at the end of the day, I'm happy because I'm living out loud. I'm honest about my fuck ups. My book will lay that out very clearly. I'm proud of my success too, but I think it's really easy to lull ourselves into a false reality, like I'm talking about politically, but within ourselves too. That, hey man, each day is a new day. Yesterday don't mean shit, as Pantera would say. It doesn't. Put the trophies in the closet and the degree. I have no trophies or degrees or anything else on my walls or on my mantle, because that was yesterday. Today's a new day, and I want to build something new today with an absolutely amazing team of people. So I hope you guys have a great day. Keep your head on straight, be objective, ask some questions. It's okay not to know everything, you know what I mean? And strive for better, man. That's the bottom line. So I'm excited about what's going to happen, and I'm excited to be sharing all this stuff with you guys. It's kind of a trip, you know, but I like it because you know, talking about sharing our truth, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. And I think, you know, as you guys get to know me better, you'll know that you'll find that I'm pretty transparent. That, you know, you'll see the cool stuff, but you're going to get a good view of the, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I think that's important, because then it's believable, and that's what I'm in search of every day, is the truth. So I hope you guys have a great day. civilbullets.com, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. All right, take care.